Welcome back. Today we will be discussing a use case for an internal audit and then apply, automation and analytics tool that will show you how some of these functions can be automated. In this use case, there is a company called ABC Consulting, which is in the business of providing expert resources to the financial services, retail, and pharmaceutical clients. As of October of 31st this year, they have about 1,000 consultants on their payroll. And as ABC Consulting signs work order with various clients, these work orders are considered as a legal documents, which has, consultant name, start date, and billing rate. At the end of every month, ABC Consulting invoices the billable hours to these clients, and return clients are expected to make payments within working days of the receiving invoices. The audit team of ABC Consulting is auditing this recruitment to payment process, and as a result of they receive a data file that consists of consultant names, payment received, invoices, and this audit is performed quarterly basis due to high risk assessment. Now we will take you to our tool and an actual file, and then show you how analytics can be applied. So this is the file that is received by auditors of ABC Consultant. What you see here is, you have a consultant ID, start date when a consultant started, name of the consultant, the client name, what are the daily rates, and how many days, billing days the consultant worked in the month of October. So some of this information is basically coming from the legally executed work order, while the information such as invoice date, invoice amount, payment received is coming from the accounting system or a general ledger. So at this stage, we'll walk you through with our analytics tool. This is our internal audit analytics tool. This is a very simplified version of the tool. Right now what you see is an empty frame. What we are going to do is we are going to basically import this file that we were just looking in a little while ago. So I'm going to go into demo, and I'm going to load this file into our tool. As you can see, when the file is loaded into the tool, all the columns are listed there on the top, consultant ID, start date, consultant name, etc. And then on the bottom screen, you can see the entire file is loaded with their actual values in this thing. That way you have a view of both the file as well as the column names. The critical data elements, many times there are situations where not all fields are critical for auditor, and some of the fields are informational. So you have an ability to select the columns that are critical for your auditing purposes. For this process, we will go ahead and select all the fields, because I think all of these fields are important for our audit work. The first step we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and save our selection, so that next quarter when you do audit, you don't have to go through the entire process of selecting this thing. When you click on the next step, what is going to happen is you're going to see multiple tabs, and each tab will have a data quality assessment, sample selection screen, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and click on the next. We still have the entire data set with us as we move on to it. I'm going to click on this high-level data quality summary. This is a summary where basically what it shows you that are there sufficient nulls? Are there null values in the field? Are there any duplicates in the file? And also, were there outliers? And if we can see from this graph is that there are no nulls in this, but there are a fairly large population of records that are duplicate. And in the next screen we'll see what are those duplicates, which will help us to figure out whether these are duplicates, acceptable duplicates, or we need to do a further investigation. Similarly, there is a small portion of records which fall into the category of outliers, which we will definitely be interested as we move on to the next screen. You want to go ahead and save this screen as your evidence purposes that you did a high-level data quality assessment of the file. So I'm going to go ahead and save is DQ assessment. We'll just go ahead and save it. Let's go ahead and click on the next tab. This is the tab which is going to provide us a very critical information. This is like a heat map. What you see here is all the columns that we were looking at. It is all they stay with us here on the top row. Then you have total number of records, which basically tells you how many records are there in the file for the completeness check. So if our stakeholders are saying that we send you 847 records, we can confirm that we did receive that many number of records. It's a good general statistics. Then on the second row, what you have here is called the null records, is how many null records are there in the file. As we can see, there are really zero null records on most of the columns. There is one null record here which we can go and click on. Is that there is a client name which is null here. So if you want to see your entire population, you go ahead and click on this on the top row, and you see your complete records. When you move on to the duplicate, here we are able to see there are large population of records which are duplicate in nature, and we would like to know what are those duplicates, especially the consultant name. So if I go and click on the consultant name, I see that there are couple of names, which is Adam, Albert, Alexandra. So there are consultant names which are common, and I think this is because this file probably contains only the first name. That's why you see the large population of common name. I think I would be worried if the consultant ID were duplicates here. Similarly, this is a very important function, outlier. It uses a z-score as well as median random outlier access method, which gives you not only the outliers in an individual column but in a cross file. So if we click on, let's say why there are outliers in the invoicing amount. So if I click on these 13 invoicing amount, I see that our invoicing amount is just $22. There's something wrong with these records. And when I see a daily rate is $1, so there is obviously something wrong with these records. And then there are one record has payment received as $4,250 while the daily rate was reasonable, but I think you see that the billing days was only just 5, so that this consultant worked only 5 days at the billing rate of $850 per day. This is a good population. We want to select this population for our purposes, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this selection. It basically saves this selection that we would want to investigate further. Similarly, let's click on what are these billing days showing as an outlier, and you click on the billing days. This heat map, you have the population of records which are 5 billing days, 10 billing days, 30 billing days, and the reason they are outliers is because you have obviously 5 billing days is very low record. Then you have low number of billing days. Then you have 30 billing days, which is in our month of October the billing days are actually 20. So you have a consultant working overtime, significantly overtime. And then similarly, you have a consultant working 10 days. So these are the set of population we want to further investigate as part of our audit work. So we will also go ahead and select the sample. Now, if you go down further, this provides you a holistic view of the data population, right? You have consultant daily rate $1 versus minimum daily rate as $1 and maximum $1,090. If you look at a different invoice amount, $22 versus $26,400. And then we can also see that average daily rate for this population was $860. This basically what this screen tells you as an auditor, it gives you a whole entire view of the file and its various statistical analysis, and it helps us to do a sample selection based on the either outliers, based on the duplicate records, and another criteria. In the next screen, what you're able to do is, if you want to create further customized rules, such as, you want to know if the client, the daily rate was greater than, let's say you want to find out greater than $1,200. You can, basically you can reset it so you'll get the entire population, and then you apply the filter so you'll get those those daily consultants with the daily rate greater than $1,200, and then you can keep further drilling it down. At this stage, what we have been able to do is we've been able to quickly, as an auditor, without the help of technology folks and other folks, we've been able to apply some, the data analytical activities. And let's see our population that we just saved. So this was the population these were the records that we saved from our tool. You can see that the total entire selection is about 20 records. So we selected the 20 counts, and for the various, these are the outliers that we would like to investigate them further. If you as an auditor, you will typically send this population to your the accounting department or to your people in the sales department, and in return you would expect the legally executed work order for these consultants, as well as the general ledger extract. So we sent this information to accounting department, and they basically provided us these samples, these contracts. So these are the various work orders that we received for selected samples, and I'm going to click one of these. So so when you look at these work orders are like this. It gives you the name of the company, who is a consultant name, client ID, and other details. And we received 20 of them based on our sample selection. At the same time, we also received a general ledger extract, which has the details about invoices, payment made, payment received. At this stage, what we will do is we will run our second set of tool. And the intent of really, if you're typically an auditor, what you would do is you will open one by one these contracts and read the information and confirm that the information matches what is provided to us in the original file, and then what exists on the physical contract that we were just looking as a part of a source documentation, and then also confirm the information from the general ledger. The whole process could take several days to verify this information across these 20 contracts that we selected. So at this stage, we are going to show you a second set of a tool that will automate the entire process, and what we will see is basically an ability to read all these contracts that we were just showing you, read the general ledger, and extract the necessary information from these documents, which matches what we want to confirm with the precisely line number. So I'm going to go ahead and run this tool, and basically what you're going to see here in this right now, let me go delete this file before it gets created. It's going to be a trouble. I've got to rerun this. So our second automation program is running behind the scene, and what just happened is that this program took in this file and all the physical contracts that I was just showing you, as well as the general ledger extract, and then matched the information with the exception that we were really focused on, this exception. So let's go ahead and see our output, which just got created. As you can see, the time it just got created. I'm going to pretty up the file fairly quickly, just so that you can see the information in a more precise way. So as we can see, for the first, so in quickly, there are 20 tabs here, one tab for each sample that we selected, and for each tab, what you would see is the name of the field that we wanted to verify, the file original data file that we received from our stakeholder, and then how we independently verify either from the GL or from in the work order. Let's start with the start date. Start date in the original file was 8/1 for this consultant, and the start date from the legal contract was 8/31. So as you can see, the start date was 8/1/2/16, and our program was able to give this information. Similarly, name in the original file was Smita, but the name in the file that in the work order is Sahu Smita.